Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back for day 3. I'm Karen Brook, and I'm so happy and grateful that you are here with me again today to finish strong in the Mind and the Money 3-day masterclass. I'm so happy to have you back on live with me this morning or watching the recording after today's call. We have to congratulate somebody that was on the call yesterday who, as soon as the call finished, went to my website and booked himself in for Inner Circle of Excellence, my Ascension Inner Circle program, the premium level. Private and platinum is full. So he booked his spot in premium, and that is Jude. Now, I can't see Jude live on the call yet, but when he does come on, we'll try and get him, see if he'll come on and just share a little bit about that decision for him and how he's feeling. But Jude's got such a great story. He came to me last year, same thing, just I don't even know if he'd been following me for very long, but somehow heard about me or found me and went straight to my website and booked in for Thinking into Results, the 2.0 version last year. We've now got our new released 3.0 version this year. And what he did, which I think is significant, he knew he wanted to make changes. He knew he wanted to earn more for his family. He was flying in and out to an offshore oil rig at the time in Western Australia. And so he spent 6 months, maybe even longer, 6 to 9 months in the TIR program, working on his mindset and his habits and his self-image, so that he could be in harmony with the business that he was launching. So what's significant about that is he didn't wait until, when I get the business launch, when I get it started. He started right where he was at the time, still flying in and out off that oil rig, working for that particular company at the time. But every opportunity he could on the oil rig, when he was at home, he was studying. He got into the blueprint. He started to build the new paradigms, right? The new mental programming that would be in harmony with the results that he wanted to create, because our physical results are the last and lowest level that we see anything manifest on. So if you want to experience new results in any area of your life, earn more money, enjoy more time freedom, attract better relationships, better clients, you have to start now. If you want to see those new results start to show up in your life in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months from now. And the changes happen very quickly. I remember 4 to 6 weeks into the coaching, I got on a call. Jude was stuck with a couple of things. Even in TIR, I set aside 15 minutes and I hopped on a call with him and I told him exactly what he needed to do to start to call in the results that he wanted. And he did exactly what I told him to do, not half, not 3/4. And the same is for you. If you will do exactly what I suggest that you do, not half, not 3/4, you're going to create amazing results. If you do half, you'll create half as amazing results. If you do a quarter, you'll create as quarter amazing results as what is possible for you. And he really got into it. And he then left his job on the oil rig. And some of you may have heard him share a little bit of this at Elevate. And within the first month of working full-time in his business, he was earning $10,000 a week. Why is that? That doesn't happen by accident. He built that programming ahead of time. So whatever the results are that you want to experience now, we start working on it now to bring it into physical manifestation. So if we could all give Jude a congratulations. We're so happy that you're in Inner Circle with us now, taking it up a notch, and we can't wait to see, where you go now. And I know that Jude has got his eye on the private ascension level with me as well. So this time next year, I'm sure that he'll be there as well when a spot opens up at private level, if a spot opens up there. So good on you, Jude. You've got in where you can with what's available. Premium was the level, and you're in, and we're thrilled for you. Everybody here on the call is very happy for you, Jude. So congratulations. All right, so let's get into it. We've got a lot to get through today and a lot of stories to share with you on today's call. But let's start off by really thinking about how you want to live. Let me just move my screen around here so I can see properly. Let's start to really think about how you want to live. Now, I've got an interesting question for you. Is it just as a good person? Is that the most you really want for your life? Of course it's not. You want to be the top of your game. That's why you've been attracted to this masterclass. To live better than you've ever imagined. Now, you don't need to be sick to get better, and you don't have to be broke to want to earn more money. Let's get that right out of the gates. The people that I attract into my coaching are already doing well in one or more aspects of their life. In some cases, they feel like they may not be doing very well. And in some cases, they feel like they're doing very well, but they want to get better. I worked with a client last year, Athena Manley, and she was in a C-suite role, chief of strategy, chief of staff with Aon Insurance, earning an exceptional salary, but she knew there was more to life, that she had achieved a great level of success professionally, but she had done it the effort way, the hard way. She found herself at times overwhelmed, stressed, feeling burnt out. How could she dramatically improve her income, take her income to 7 figures, working easier? And she too booked in for Thinking into Results, the Blueprint program, and she got into that. And very quickly, she went into Inner Circle, has launched 2 companies out of that experience with me, the Flexible CEO and Second Me. Has just been interviewed by the Financial Review, is set up to speak with CEOs of 10 million to 100 million in Australia as a result of her making that decision a year and a half ago. She has now created an exceptional next level life and business for herself and income to go with it. Was she scared along the way? Absolutely. Did the wobbly boots kick in? Yes. But she's a great example of being at the top of your game and still knowing that there's more. There is more to life than just what you've experienced up until yesterday. So no matter where you're at right now, I really want you to understand, no matter where you're at, it can get better. You can do it easier. More is available to you. And if you will allow yourself, if you will become available to that and the guidance and the wisdom and the coaching that is here for you, you will begin to live better than you've ever imagined. So how do we accomplish that? How do you increase your productivity and minimize the unimportant things that are currently taking up so much of your time? You create a new routine to replace the old one, right? You create a new mindset on your biocomputer that will replace the old one. You get focused, you get disciplined, and you get dedicated. Then your life will change. You essentially walk away, not from the things that need to get done, but from the thoughts and habits that need to die. And I'm showing you how to do that, and I'll take the guesswork out of that process for you. You know, when I decided to take my income up a level, when I first started to work with Bob Proctor in 2015, I was probably earning maybe $200,000-$300,000 a year at the time in my business. It wasn't the most I had earned at that point in time. The most I think I'd earned in a year was about $450,000 at the time. And out of that, I was probably taking home anywhere between $70,000 and $120,000 a year. And so when I started to study what I now teach my clients and apply it to my own life, I had to let go of the idea that that was as good as it could ever get for me. I had to start to give myself permission, right? And my first goal was to earn $70,000 a month. And I remember when that was pitched to me, I thought, I literally nearly fell off my chair. At the time, I was living in a very small 2-bedroom unit that cost me $320 a week. You know, I was hoping to do $20,000 for the quarter at the time, or to grow my sales by $20,000 the quarter at the time. And so there were a lot of habits and ideas about money, about life, my lifestyle, about who I was in the market that had to die with it. And with the Thinking into Results Blueprint program, I had a formula to start to let go of the old habits and ideas that needed to die and replace them with the ones that were going to take me where I wanted to go. It took me about 3 or 4 months to have my first $70,000 month. And yeah, it took a couple of years to get to $1 million, but most people would never think about doing that in their lifetime or take it seriously to actually go out and multiply their income. When I decided I then wanted to go to 6 figures, you heard that story in 2017, I wanted to multiply my income working half as much, and I cracked the 6-figure a month mark. And then a couple of years after that, I thought, what if I could do six figures in a week? And I was really hitting the fear hard around that one. Isn't it crazy? Even though we know that by achieving our goals, we're going to help more people and make a bigger difference and be able to circulate more money, we're scared at the idea of whether we could do that, right? And that was absolutely the case for me. But in 6 months, I applied the same principles that I've used every time to make paradigm shifts to earning $100,000 in a week. And I applied the thinking into results process to that. And within 6 months, I had multiplied my income again and had my first $100,000 week in the business. Now, I'm not saying this to try to impress you. I'm saying it to impress upon you that if I can do it, so can you. That if it works for me, it'll work for you. If it's working for Jude, if it's working for Athena, if it's working from all the other people that I'm going to share stories, it'll also work for you if you give yourself a chance. If you bet on yourself, if you go to the website, if you book yourself in, very quickly you will see too that within 6 months you'll need a telescope to look back. Now, I know that sounds a little cliche, not going to lie, but it's true, right? In 6 months, you will astound yourself. Even if your life is, you're already doing well, you'll be absolutely amazed at how much more enriched, happy, healthy you'll be living, at the new opportunities that'll be flowing to you, that the money that will be coming, the ideas, the how-to that you're stuck on, that you don't know how to achieve this goal, it will all be there now for you when you get into this. So don't let your limits of yesterday dictate your tomorrow. Let me say that again. Don't let your limits of yesterday dictate your tomorrow. In the words of Bob Proctor, if not now, when? When is it going to be? So what is it that you really want? What is it that you've decided to accomplish, create, or improve? I want you to jot down your thoughts there just to clarify it again, because when we know what we want, or we know the problems or the challenges that we want to solve or overcome, when it comes to making a decision like booking in for a program with me, or making an investment, or buying a house, or booking the holiday, very quickly we can say, will that decision help me get where I want to go? If we don't know the results we want to create, if we're unsure of the changes that we want to make, then when it comes to making a decision, we're unsure whether that decision is going to help us or hinder us in creating what we want. So by taking a moment now to jot down your thoughts around what it is that you've decided to accomplish, create, or improve, and write it in the present tense, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am. I want you to imagine it another way. Imagine in 6 months from now, you and I are catching up for a coffee, a cup of tea, a nice bit of cake, and you're telling me the changes that you've experienced on the other side of working with me 6 months from now. What do you want that conversation to look like? What sort of results do you want to say you've created? Make a note of that now. And remember, we never ever want to affirm, I can't do this, I don't have the time, I can't afford it, I don't have the money, I don't know how, because your subconscious mind will follow your orders and assume that you don't have enough money, or money will unexpectedly leave you, or you don't have the time, or you won't have the confidence to do it. You've talked yourself out of the decision that you want to make. Your subconscious mind is totally deductive. It'll take and act on anything that you really want. So if in one area you want to create more income and abundance and prosperity, you want more opportunities, more clients, but on the other hand, you're denying yourself the very thing that will show you how to do it, you're holding yourself apart from the results that you want. Now, I want you to also think about the alternative. If you don't go after this goal, this thing that you really would love, or this creating this new result that you would want, whether it's monetizing a product or service, growing your business, getting a raise, taking on the next level job in your company, right? How will you be settling for your present results, right? Often when we think about making a decision to move forward, we think about the cost of that decision. How much is it going to cost me? How much time will be required of me? What's it going to take? Rarely do we spend enough time thinking about what's at stake if we don't move forward. Before my prices were completely transparent on the website with the investment for my coaching, when people would say to me, how much is your program? I'd say, well, if you do it or if you don't do it, because it's going to cost you either way. It's going to cost you a little bit of time and money to do it and create the results that you want. And if you don't do it, it's also going to cost you in the lost opportunity, the lost income, the lost revenue. You're going to stay creating the results that you've presently been creating. And I've never been afraid to say that to a person. So how would you be settling for life as it is today? Think about your current results. Because if we let the paradigm influence our decisions, our old money paradigm, our old time paradigm, our old self-image paradigm, in any area of our life, we are then settling for our present results. Is that what you really want? Could you imagine living the rest of your life knowing that today, the way it is today, is as good as it's ever going to get for you? Because that's what you're trading here, right? That's as good as it's ever going to get. And you can say, well, no, Karen, of course it's not going to be like that. But the reality is the way your mind works and the way the universe works, that's exactly how it's going to be. And you're going to kick it in the dirt and you're going to hold it up to the light and you're going to try a little bit harder and you're going to move it a little bit sideways and a little bit left and make yourself feel good for a little bit longer. But the reality is that this year is going to run much the same as last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and 2 years from now, it'll be much the same, moving sideways and up and down just a little bit, unless you make a committed decision to change the paradigm. And that's what I show you how to do. I had another client, Shane Hiscock, who came to me. He was earning around about $140,000, $150,000 a year as a real estate agent. And, you know, he was doing pretty well at, you know, 6-figure income, 3 small girls at the time. But, you know, he felt like he was very much on a bit of a roller coaster. The money came in, the money went out. And he would describe himself as a personal development junkie, you know, like he was like, oh, how is this going to be anything different from anything I've done before? But he was recommended. Someone had recommended that he seek me out and work with me. And he got to a point where he said, well, you know, this is it. Like, my wife is literally going to think I'm crazy if I now spend the last little bit of money that I had. He didn't actually even have it. Like, I think the minimum payment then to start with me was $6,000. So it was 50% of the program, 12,000. It was like 6,000 to start. And he couldn't even do that. Like, he was like, can I start on like 2? And I was like, mate, come on. I think we settled on 3 or something. He started on 3. And he was like, oh, this has to work. It just I have to change my life with this. This has to work for me. Like, there's just no alternative. You know, I've got private school fees to pay. I've got bills to pay. I owe my parents money. My wife is just like, you know, where is this money going to come from? He needed to buy a house for his family, but he was earning 6 figures, right? You'd think, oh, he's good. But he had paradigms that were working against him in terms of being able to elevate his income. He could earn it, but he wasn't keeping it. He was growing it, but then he would still end up with, you know, a low month, because that was a cycle to get it in one month and it all goes out the next month. So he had money paradigms. He had things we really needed to work on. So he got into thinking into results and completely transformed the way he was approaching being a real estate agent. He grew his income. He landed bigger contracts. He wasn't stressed about losing the contract, because part of his, you know, paradigm was, okay, I've got the contract, but what if they pull out? So we worked on that. I taught him how to change that, how to change how he was approaching his role and his work. And then I remember he had an idea to become a buyer's agent. And he said, I think I want to start my own business as a buyer's agent. And I said, well, go and do it. And he said, but I'm scared. You know, I do, even though it's, you know, it's not a huge amount of money, it's still a secure income. And I said, look, Shane, you can always measure what you're giving up, but you can never measure what you're going to get. You can always measure the $12,000 or the $24,500 for inner. So you can measure that, you know, but you can never measure what you're going to get. You can measure the salary that you're giving up, but you can never measure what's going to come. And so he stepped out and I helped him to create that new paradigm shift, created the new business model, the new self-image model to back that business. And in the first year, he did 7 figures in that business, and it's just taken off since there. So that's another example. Imagine if he didn't follow through with that decision in the beginning, didn't put down that $3,000 deposit, kept struggling through it, kept convincing himself he couldn't afford it, wait another 6 months, the results were never going to change. He would have stayed in that pattern forever. And he would have lost the opportunity, held himself back from a 7-figure income, growing a business that's now providing employment opportunities for a lot more people. He was able to buy a house for his girls. He's taken them on a recent trip to Europe, right? If he hadn't gone after that goal, if he hadn't then got into coaching with me and made that investment, he would have been settling for where he was. Is that what you really want to do? Let your present results be as good as it's ever going to get? Really think about that. The paradigm shift. Now, I had you study this last night, so let's look over this. The only way to get what you really want is to not stay where you are. You need to close the gap between where you are and where you really want to be. It's time to make a paradigm shift. So what is a paradigm? A paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior, and almost all of your behavior is habitual. So how are paradigms formed then? Paradigms are a multitude of ideas, beliefs, and habits that form in your subconscious mind. Remember that stick person diagram we spoke about yesterday? And we looked at the conscious mind or the thinking mind, the subconscious mind, the emotional mind. The mind controls the body. The body is an expression of whatever is going on in the mind. And as we express that through our habits, our behavior, and our vibration, we start to create results by the law of cause and effect. So we're always going to be creating results based on whatever is programmed. Doesn't matter how hard we try, right? The next strategy, that is such a small part in terms of creating your results. The non-physical is responsible for over 75%. Spirit, mind, intellect is responsible for your results. Your subconscious mind is the elephant. It's the powerhouse. 96 to 98% of all of your results come from the subconscious mind. Only 2 to 4% is the conscious mind. So most people that think they're thinking are not thinking. It's just mental activity of the same mental activity that was last year or to that particular situation or that particular habit in their life. Think the same thoughts about their Monday morning, their Friday afternoon, their business, their money, their house, their relationship, their kids. It's habit, right? We're creatures of habit. And these paradigms are programmed genetically and environmentally, It makes no difference what you know intellectually and consciously, none, right? That's why I'm saying, being completely upfront with you, that this masterclass will become self-help for you if you don't act on it and get into coaching. Now, I'm not trying to say that to make you feel bad if you do or you don't. That's completely your decision, but that is the reality. Because you've just gathered a lot of information intellectually here, but the subconscious mind hasn't changed. The paradigms hasn't changed. It's what is going on subconsciously that produces your results, right? And the great thing is that you can change and improve what is going on subconsciously. And I guide you and show you how to do that so that you can produce the exact results that you want. Now turn over the page and have a look at the 7 areas that paradigms control and influence. And in particular, I want to draw your attention to point number 2 down the bottom of this. How do we change a paradigm? Because this is the point that links to what I just said yesterday. Like, you can do this or not do it. Like, you can book a program or not book a program with me. Like, that's on you, right? It's not going to affect my life, but it's certainly going to affect yours, right? So how do we change a paradigm? One is an emotional impact. Sometimes I get people that come to me after they've had an emotional impact and now they have to deal with it, right? The other way we could be proactive about it is recognize that the other way to change a paradigm is to be proactive and get involved with the constant spaced repetition of a new idea or concept. And this usually doesn't occur without the assistance of a coach or mentor because paradigms are insidious. They are tough to change without accountability, support, and guidance. Like, I even had a client recently that got into the program with me. She was only in 4 to 6 weeks and she wanted to pause it because she felt overwhelmed. And I was like, it's doing its job. It's working for you. And if she didn't have me, she would have found all of the reasons in the world to justify the idea that the paradigm was throwing to her that it's not the right time. I just need another month to get organized. I need to get my head sorted. Like, then I'll be ready, then I can do it. And I was like, no. Like, that's not how it works. We're here for you. We're going to help you through this. The program is working. The fact that you feel like this, it means you're going through your first terror barrier, the first paradigm shift. And so the paradigm doesn't want you to change. And it throws out these arguments to you as to why it might not be the right time, why you've got to use the money somewhere else right now, why you need to wait another month or another 6 months, or wait until the children finish school, or you get the car fixed, or you get this or you get that. And guess what? Then your conditions and circumstances conform to back that bias that your paradigm has just given you as to why it's not the right time for you. But hey, you only have now. If not now, when? If you want to start to experience new and better results, you've got to start to work on it now, because your results happen from the inside to the outside. If I want sunflowers in my garden, I can't expect to walk out there and pick the flower if I haven't planted the seed. If you want more money in your bank account, if you want to grow sales, if you want to start to attract new and better clients, if you want to make a quantum leap now, then we have to start to create the new programming, the biocomputer, and put the paradigms in place that are going to allow you to create the results that you want. Does that make sense? That's what I show you how to do. Make it easy for you. Take the guesswork out of that, right? This is something that you use, like your car takes you from A to B, or your airplane takes you from A to B. When you work with me, when you get into coaching with me, I'm going to give you the tools, the awareness, the process to take you from where you are to where you really want to be, the effortless way, without you wasting energy, wasting time, wasting money, trying to figure it out, bouncing around the edges. We get right to the core of it and show you what to do to get you where you want to go. It's something you use, not something you have to do, right? We're going to target these paradigms that make up your self-image, your ability to earn money, your use of time, your logic, your productivity, your effectiveness, your relationships, your creativity. Wherever there's a gap between how you're living and how you want to be, there is a paradigm shift at play that you have to move through. For everybody, none of us get out of jail free on this, right? I'm still today upgrading my paradigms, working on the new paradigm. I want to take my income to $1 million a month, right? But if I've had a $250,000 a month paradigm, the most I've ever earned in a month in the business is about $250,000 a month. It stands to reason that I too still have to go and do the same process that I teach you to put a new paradigm in place around the ability for the company to generate new revenue, how we use our time in the company, what it would look like, how productive are we. The whole model that took me to $250,000 a month or $100,000 a week, I have to build a new model. So none of us get out of jail free on this. It doesn't matter how good your life is. We always want to be in a process of making a paradigm shift, and that's what we're going to show you how to do. So we're going to do a quick activity on this now. I want you to take out your pen and I want you to put it in your opposite hand, so your non-dominant hand, and I want you to write out this statement with your non-dominant hand. So if you usually write with your right hand, you're going to put the pen in your left hand and you're going to write this out with your non-dominant hand. I'm going to put some background music on for you, and we're going to do this activity together, and then I'm going to explain why we have done it.
KB, nothing's come up on your screen. I know what we're meant to be writing out, but
Oh, it's in the workbook, David.
is it?
Yeah, they should all be right, I reckon. Page 6, my paradigm shift. Got it? Yeah, awesome. All right, type in the chat how that activity was for you. What did you feel doing that opposite handwriting activity today? If you've been around me recently, some of you may be in the habit of doing this every day. So I love that. And for some of you, if this is the first time in a training with me, you will get to know that I do these things, get you out of your comfort zone a little bit. But let me know how that was for you in the chat. And I'm going to share with you why I do this little activity. Ramona says, awful, incompetent, challenged. I love that. And I'm going to use that, Ramona, to give the example of why we do this. Because when we go to make a decision that is a new decision for us, when we go to make a decision to change a paradigm, and then we go to do it, when we feel uncomfortable, we feel awful, we can feel incompetent, we can feel challenged, we can feel like I'm not very good at this, I don't know how to do it, and the negative self-talk comes up. And part of that is the old self-image, because it recognizes you're moving out of homeostasis, you're moving out of your comfort zone. This is not the way we write. We don't write with our opposite hands. Stop it, quit it, let it go, drop it, get off the call, abandon mission, right? And I'm making a bit of a joke about it, but quite literally that's what happens, and that's what can happen when we go to make a paradigm shift, when we go to make a decision, when we go to make a decision to get in the coaching. A part of our old self-image recognizes this is different. I'm not sure about this. Are you sure about this? Can I really do it? Should I really do it? Maybe now's not the right time. Can you really afford it? It could be anything. What will my partner think? Maybe they don't really want me to do it. Yeah, maybe I'll, when we go to change a paradigm in the program, we can feel uncomfortable. Even the idea of going to act on our C-type goal, we can feel uncomfortable, challenged, we tense up. There is a physiological shift that happens in our mind and body when we go to act on ideas that are new for us. But it is part of growth, like the more you do it, make decisions, act on them, change paradigms, achieve goals, the better you get at it. And the opposite handwriting is symbolic of that change and transformation to give you an actual lived experience that you can relate to. So let's also see, my left-hand writing is not getting any better. Interesting. Great. And so then we might be tempted to quit. Oh, well, I don't see it yet. It's not getting any better. Maybe I'll just let it go. Maybe that goal's not for me. Maybe the program's not for me. Maybe da-da-da-da-da. We have to persist. Persistence, I said, Day two, part of it is making a decision, part of it is being persistent through that decision. Elizabeth says uncomfortable, uncomfortable yet rewarding when completed because we focused. We get that little hit of self-reliance, right? We get that little bit of boost in self-confidence, in self-esteem. When we don't act on the decisions and the intuitive guidance that we get around our goals and dreams and the next steps to turn them into reality, when we go to step out and feel the fear and not do it, we knock ourselves down the self-esteem ladder. And you can only do that so much. And then you really start to feel it and notice it. Day 32 reminds me to keep calm and do it. Love it. I want the writing to appear better, clearer, and legible. Amazing. So the intention behind it. I'm on day 33, second time today. It is getting easier, maybe not neater, but it's easier because you've now disciplined yourself to do it. And this is something that I'm going to teach you in the coaching about your mental faculties, the 6 mental tools that you have in order to discipline and focus yourself in a certain way to achieve the results that you want to achieve. And it gets easier the more you practice doing it. All right. Happy when completed. I love that. All right. Well done, everyone. Great work. Let's turn over the page and let's look at these questions briefly. And we just want to talk to Jude and David briefly because last night I asked you to reflect on these questions. What's holding you back? Are you willing to shift? Have you had enough? Now, I'm going to just bring David on the line briefly, David Eagleson, to share a little bit about his experience of recognizing where he was, making a decision to shift, and what has come on the other side of that so far. David did TIR with me last year, thinking into new results, and this year he has moved into Ascension Inner Circle. So David, will you share with us a little bit, share with everybody, let me bring you on the call here with me, add you. Will you share a little bit with everybody about what was holding you back or where you were at and why you made a decision to not only shift, but then book in to TIR initially last year with me and what that's been like for you?
Yeah, Karen. It was a probably pretty big step for ourselves at the time, where financially we were situated with things that had happened. We had started a business on our own, hadn't really gone to plan through to an injury on myself. It was out for a while. Um, and yeah, it was getting in a place that it shouldn't get to, I suppose. So yeah, my wife and I were doing some personal development of different sorts. Um, and I'd been keeping an eye. One of my friends that I went to school with had did one of your courses. My wife was doing that. She mentioned you should maybe jump on and have a look. And it come back to, I suppose, when I was younger, nothing was a problem to me. Like no one could ever say that I couldn't do something. I just went and did it anyway.
Mm.
But as you get older, you sort of listen to other people and you yeah listen to the wrong people, I suppose. And yeah, got into a situation. So fast forward it, yeah, we can see that yeah now after doing your courses that there is things that pop up, and it's your paradigms and terror barrier and the things you talk about, and yeah, just here to change them and get back on track, which we are, and yeah, keep doing them.
What can you share with us one or two noticeable benefits from that first 6 months? Now, you've been around longer than 6 months now, but that first 6 months, what did it do for you having the blueprint? Like, can you give us one or two benefits that maybe you received or your family received as an outcome initially from that first 6 months?
Probably, yeah, mentally I wasn't in the best place. Whereas now, definitely getting back on track. Um, so yeah, family wise, yeah, spending more time with my family and not worrying as much about like the deals that are coming or not coming or whatever. So just
And
getting
you
everything
buy and
right.
sell cattle and rural properties for people, don't you? Just so everyone
Yeah,
has some
yep.
context. Yeah.
So we do that. We got a lot of things happening. So yeah, we've got a family of 4. So yeah, I do livestock and real estate, but we've also got our own farm. which we run as well. So, and my wife's an ED nurse, so she does shift work. So there's a fair bit happening, and then I'm away as well, fair bit. So there's a lot going on. But yeah, it's just trying to yeah, I believe it still can be done, but it's just taking a backward step and looking how the status quo is how you should be an agent and how you do things. And I think that there's a better way of doing it. And yeah, that's how. Yeah, some people are saying that can't be done, but I believe that it can be done. You've just got to find the right people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because we've got a handful of really good clients, and I just want to look after, at the end of the day, I want to grow those clients, but I don't go chasing people that I don't necessarily really want to deal
Yeah.
with them. Yeah.
That's great. And when you made the decision to then move into Inner Circle at the end of last year, why did you do that? Like, was that you just saw yourself in Inner Circle, you wanted to be elevated, you wanted to go the next level with your study, or you wanted the smaller group? Like, what was that decision like for you? And also, I mean, it's double and a bit, in terms of the investment. So, what did it do for you making a decision to be in Inner Circle?
Well, once again, the investment is a massive thing for us. But in saying that, I figure I've only got to pick up one client at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, the money side of things, money paradigms, kick in and say you're mad, at times, but then I go, no, well, I've just got to get a sale of one property or pick up one new real good client. So that's how I
And it's
keep telling.
interesting, isn't it, David? It's like mentally we justify it like that, to sort of soothe that part. Like I've only got to pick up one client or one sale, and I've paid it back. And at the same time, we're picking up all of this other stuff that, sometimes we can't measure in terms of financial terms, like what that will
It's
now do
personal.
for
It's
you.
personal stuff as well. Like it's
Yeah,
it's
exactly. But
it's
it's
meant.
funny how
It's
our
Yeah,
brain sort of justifies it. Well, I've
yeah,
only got to get the one sale and then that, so that kind of tick that box. But there's also just this so much more that is coming your way as a result of being there now at the same time.
yeah. Like just just through helping the kids and stuff as well. Like
Mm,
everyone has challenges with kids and how you handle that and different way of looking at things.
yeah.
So yeah,
All right.
it's yeah, that's
So, final word, David. If someone is tuned in today live or on the recording and they're thinking of either being in TIR or in a circle, what would you say to that person? Hand on heart, like what advice would you give them? What would you say to someone who's on the fence, say today, about joining our coaching,
I'd
our
say
community?
be open and give it a go. Like yeah, be open and give it a go and the support that you give us um outside of that is good. It's
Mm.
great.
Amazing. Thank you so much, David. You will get to know David. He's around on all of our calls. If you do decide to book in and join us today, as a result of this class. So thank you so much, David, for sharing with everyone a little bit of your story. Now, Jude, I saw you pop in, Jude. So I want to bring you on the call quickly because where is Jude? Can we get Jude? Hopefully he can come on camera. Are you there, Jude? Maybe Jude can't. We'll see.
Can you hear me, Karen?
Yeah, we can hear you. All right, we can't see you, but that's okay. We'll hear you. Oh, we can see you, Jude. Excellent. Jude, congratulations on joining Inner Circle overnight.
Thank, thank
Please
you very
just,
much.
yeah, we're so happy for you and so happy to have you, and everyone on this call is happy for you. But I would love you to share with everyone just briefly. Can you imagine not having done TIR when you did? Like, think about the changes you've made in your life. Can you imagine not having made the decision back with when you did, imagine if you hadn't done it. Like what would have happened in your life? Tell us about that.
Well, I would have been the same person struggling to make the ends meet. and just living the same way I was living,
Mm.
year in, year
And did
out,
you always
structure.
have bigger money goals? Did you always want to earn more money for you and your family? Because you
Yes,
were
for
already
my
earning good money, right? Fly
yes,
in, fly out of the oil
uh,
rigs.
absolutely. The maximum I earned, which was last year, it was 248,000.
Yeah.
That was hardworking. I always classify myself as a hardworking person,
Mm.
but that came with a lot of sacrifice. I sacrificed a lot of my family time. I was never at all,
Mm.
and happiness was not my thing. I was never happy, and my wife also wasn't happy. The kids also were not happy, although money was coming in, and that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I always wanted to earn more money. That's why I was working very hard, but I just came to a point it was not the right way.
Yeah. And what did you identify was holding you back? What was holding you back at the time that you knew you really needed to shift?
Well, I thought I could have done it by myself. So I tried. I read a lot of books. I've got a lot of personal development in, in my office. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube trying to do it my own way, but to be honest, it never worked. It
Mm.
never worked, yeah. So like I popped in online. I'm like, I watched one video of Bob Proctor. I always have a special place in my heart for Bob Proctor. So, and Bob Proctor was talking about thinking into results. So I
Mm.
went into Proctor Gallagher Institute to look for the course. It wasn't available. So then I just typed thinking into results in Australia. Bang, it was your name. Okay. So I sent in a request to join the program, and you were so gracious to enroll me in while I did not even have the required money to join in. So,
Yeah, we did a payment plan for you as well. There
yeah.
you go. Yeah, I love that. So good. And what I said at the start, I don't know whether you saw the call, but what I loved about you was you started to create the changes that you wanted before you even had the capacity to work full time in your new business. Like even when you were flying in and out, you started to really work on the new self-image and the changes. So tell us, when you then launched your business, what happened when you really went full time? You quit your job, you came to Elevate. What happened in that first period of time in terms of what you manifested very quickly because you'd already laid down all the programming?
Wow. I'm happy you asked that question, Karen. I think that the only thing that was holding me back was to make the decision. Because when I joined the TIR course, uh, my C goal, my setup goal was to be a full-time employee of my company. So, but I was still working as a full-time employee of another company. So like I was kind of contradicting what I wanted.
Mm.
So until I had an interview with you, I think it was in October, you helped me a lot in that interview because I wasn't supposed to be on Elevate conference because I
No.
was already booked to be away because that was my life, always
Yeah.
away. So I had to make a decision. I said, well, if I don't take this decision, 2024 is just going to be exactly the same as 2023. So then I decided to resign and be a full-time employee of my company. I mean, I hit the terror barrier very hard. I've heard about it.
But then you experienced it.
Oh, yes. I mean, I had no money. I had no money. I've got a family, I've got a mortgage. Just picture what would have been going into my mind. But I stuck into it and something happened. I turned my trading account, which is part of my company structure, a 5,000 account to a 45,000. That was strong. Like it blew me away.
Yeah,
Brought tears, happy tears, of course, as my daughter always said.
I
It
love
was
it.
happy tears. I, yeah, it would have not happened if I had not taken that decision.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
your recommendation of us reading the decision on Monday was, Tuesday, it was, like it did a lot to me again. Yeah, so very thankful
Mm.
of
And
having
then
made that decision.
Yeah, I love it. And what would be your, I mean, I don't even feel like we need another piece of advice for anyone if they're thinking about it or on the fence or just, um, I do believe that when people know, but sometimes we still need to be just that bit of guidance, a bit of reassurance that, because the paradigm can be tricky to overcome, but what do you want to say to somebody on the call today who's where you were 6 months ago or even last week? You were not planning to just be in a circle right now, but you just did it and you read the decision. You're like, that's where I want to be. I'm going to book in. What advice or what guidance do you have for someone on the call that might need to hear it?
Well, I like this quote from Bob Proctor. If you want to win, you go to a person who's winning and do exactly what he or she tells you. I think I'm not saying this for flattery. Karen knows what she's talking about. Give it a try, you'll never be surprised. As Bob Proctor always says, you need a telescope to look back from where you were and where you will be.
Yeah, I love that.
That's why
So true.
that's why I've joined the inner circle.
Yeah, love that. Thank you, Jude. Thank you so much for sharing with everybody. You're so gracious in sharing your energy with us and your story with us. And I just know everyone on the call can't wait to get to know you more and spend more time with you on the calls. And yeah, thank you so much, Jude. Amazing. All right.
Karen, you've muted yourself.
Perfect. All right. Now I want to skip the page that says the problem. We've already spoken about this a little bit over the last couple of days, and I don't think I need to go over it again. You're well aware of the opportunity that you have here and how by taking up an opportunity to book a program with me, I recommend TIR 3.0 Blueprint or Inner Circle of Excellence. And that we take the guesswork out of it for you because there is just this saturation in the market of content and it hits you up for a short amount of time. You feel good for even 3 days, right? But we got to act on it, really get ourselves involved in an organized program that is laid out for you that can help you create the results that you want. So, you can read over this again, but I feel like I've spoken about it already in terms of this new paradigm of personal development. So the antidote to that is to make a decision and get involved in a program that is there to support you in an ecosystem, the Karen Brook community ecosystem, with like-minded people who are setting and achieving big goals, who are closing the knowing doing gap. You said it, you heard it from Jude himself. I thought I could do it myself. I've got all the books, I've got the short courses, but the reality is that a great coach and mentor will show you exactly what you need to do and see your blind spots quickly, that you know exactly what you need to work on in the right order. What comes first, what comes second, where are you at? And I said yesterday that those of you who book out of this training, I will get on a call with you and I will go through where you're at and what you want to achieve and help you clarify that and help you lay out a plan that you can take into the rest of the program with you. So if you turn over now to the page that says, do you want to close the gap between where you are and where you really want to be, right? That's the question. Would you love to create the results that you've journaled about, that you've written about, that you've expressed over the last couple of days? And would you like to do it the effortless way? As Athena said, she just accomplished a great amount of success, but it was the effort way as opposed to the effortless way, bringing things into the right order, giving you the lid of the puzzle box, right? To take the guesswork out of success on that. So I just want to bring Kelly Dalgleish on the line for her perspective on this. Let's see if we can add you here, Kelly, if you can unmute yourself. Amazing. So Kelly and her husband have a building and construction business in Toowoomba, and you have been involved in my coaching for a good couple of years now. Kelly, where were you at when you first started in Thinking Into Results with me? Let's talk about that first. Like, what was your catalyst for change? Why did you decide I need to do this. I want to make, where were you at then?
I felt lost when I started. I was at a low point. I just had 2 children, became a stay-at-home mum from a very heavy work life. I used to work 2 jobs. I had investment. My life was just, go, go, go. I was very quick at decision making, and I found myself very lost after having the kids. So I guess, and I'd always followed you. I knew of you from other people that I knew. So I'd followed you from the start. I knew that it was going to be good things. I knew that you were always, before doing this, that you're always accomplishing things.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was going to be good.
Yeah.
Started following you probably around the 2015 when you first started your program.
Wow.
Yeah. At the time, I said to
Do
my
you
husband,
wish that you did it back then, now that you
Yeah.
know the benefits?
yeah, definitely. Because I remember saying to my husband, I was like, oh, we were getting married in 3 months' time, and we just purchased our first house together. And we were going to Europe for a honeymoon, and we had the wedding coming up, and everything was just so big. And I was like, oh, do you think that I could just use $5,000 to pay for this course? And he's like, no, we're going to Europe. It's a 30,000 trip to Europe. Like, we can't do that now. That money needs to stay there just in case we're over there, something happens, like, whatever. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do one of Karen's courses. And I left it. And then, I had my second, by that time, I think, we were, I don't know, married, 2 kids, life changed. And then it popped back up somewhere along the lines. I was like, okay, so she's doing a couple of these short courses. I'll get in them. And then I just seen it just opened me back up to who
So you did a masterclass like this when you came back, did you? And then you got it in. Oh, interesting.
So my first, I did 2, Invisible Side to Success, and maybe this one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Years ago we did this one.
Yeah, so this one and Invisible Side to Success, they were like a month apart from each other.
Yeah.
So I did one and then did the other one, and then I started with TIR.
Oh,
And
great.
just, yeah.
And what have been some of the tangible benefits that you have received from the period of time that you've now been in it with me?
So I started another business up myself.
Oh, wow.
A little flower business, dried flowers.
You never told me that. Look at you.
But
Caveat here, everyone on the course. She did not disclose that to her coach, that she just went and started another business.
Yeah. So I was just sitting in my garden having a cuppa one day, and I was like, I could do this. I could dry some flowers in my spare time, while the kids are running about playing in the cubby
Another
house,
source
whatever
of
else.
income.
So I was like, yeah, let's do this. So I did that, and obviously, just little things, even since Elevate, like just noticing how much stuff is presenting itself to me. Was it when we were at Elevate, we did the 10 by income or 10 by something.
Yeah.
And it was 10 by, I did 10 by the next place that I'd buy, like the dearest place that I've ever bought. And I did that. And then there's been more places like that showing me, and our real estate agents have been ringing us and going, hey, would you like to come and look at this? And so that's been, and that's only been the last month. So
That's so good.
And before that we'd been looking, but I hadn't, really made a decision on it. I was like, maybe like that can go in my script, and we'll talk about that later. And so I made a decision that that's, possibly one of our next steps as a family, that, biggest place that we'd buy. And so it's been presenting themselves. We haven't decided on a place yet, but you know.
And how old are your children now?
So I have a 6-year-old turning 7 this year and a 3-year-old turning 4.
And how has studying with me helped you as a parent, as a mum?
Even down to the smallest things, just listening to you as a mum as well, like down to sleep routine and manifesting that they go to bed at a certain time and they wake up at a certain time has been really good, because I did have my youngest was bad at sleeping. He would go to sleep easily, but wake up super early. Now we're getting to 6:30. So that was what I manifested for, 6:30 wake ups, and we're getting that. So
Yeah.
loving that.
And something else, Kelly, that I think is very admirable with what I've seen in you is your self-image transformation. I remember you coming to an event with me in August 2022 in Brisbane. It was the first time I met you. And you were nervous, you were sweaty, you were shaking, you were like, should I be here? Do I belong in there? You were already in the program.
Yeah.
But your confidence, and how you dress and how you feel, do you feel like you belong in the room now?
Yes, I remember that first hug. I even remember turning up early, and thankfully it was Justine and Sue that are a part of your program. They were there, and Simone. We were the three early people there, and they had been in the program for a while, so they made me feel part of the family straight away. But I remember coming in and meeting you, and I remember just shaking so much. Like I was like, please let me go hide in that corner over there. Yeah, I went to the back table. I just tried to hide.
So fascinating, interesting, and an absolute credit. I don't need to talk about how and why it works. You see it here in the people that you've met, in the people that we've spoken to on the call. I think that's the beautiful thing about it. So, any parting words of wisdom that you have for everybody listening on the call today, Kelly?
Being part of the program, it's unlike anything else. It's not a program, it's a family. Like that is it. Like there's nothing else. Like there's so many wonderful people that want to help you. Even if you don't reach out to you as much, there is someone else got your back. Like everyone is so helpful. Yeah,
I love that. I agree. I thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much for sharing that and saying it in that way. We really appreciate you sharing with us. So thank you.
Okay, thanks.
And I think that Kelly has absolutely nailed it. We talk about the programs, but at the end of the day, it's a family, it's a community, it's energy that elevates you, that supports you, that gives you the accountability and support that you need to get to where you want to go. Not only the coaching and guidance from myself, tailored to you in the calls, through the lessons, whether you're in TIR or in a circle. Simone and Elizabeth in our client enrichment and support team, you, the client, the student on the call, supporting each other. It is a very unique, very special community like that, where everyone that is there wants you to win equally as much as they want themselves to win. The masterminding that goes on, the business, imagine getting to do business with people that are thinking like you're thinking, that when you talk about your C-type goals, they don't roll their eyes at you. When you are going and stepping out of your comfort zone, there's people there to support you or connect you or show up at your talks and events, because there's this love between you all, because you're in it together. So if you feel attracted to that, if you would love to have this in your life as well, I welcome you. I invite you to go to my website, choose the program that you would love and book in. There are options there. You can pay in full, you can split pay, you can payment plan. I had people believe in me and give me a chance when I started in coaching. I had to borrow money from people at different times. And so, we don't mind how and what you need to do to get into it. We're here to support you and help you with that. That's why you see the options on the website like that. So, I really just want you to lean in now. We have come to the end of day 3. The solution, the next step is for you to make a decision and take the next step to give yourself that accountability and support over the next 6 to 12 months to be able to turn these goals, these dreams that you want to accomplish into reality. And I can show you how to do that. So as I said, head to my website, trust yourself. If you feel attracted, if you want more of this, if you want to keep this happening, keep showing up with me on live, then get yourself into a program with me. We can't wait to see you on the inside. So on that note, I am going to wrap up today's call by leaving you with one last quote from page 13 of your workbook. And it's this one. And I feel like I did an interview with Kelly Shan yesterday, and she said, one of the things that you're very good at, Karen, is making us squirm, in our seats. And so I'm going to leave you with this, is that the only competition you will ever face is with your own procrastination. The only competition you will ever face, it's not outside of you. It's not about the time. It's not about the money. It's not about the how. It's not about the diary. It's not about anything else. It's about you. And you compete with yourself when you procrastinate, when you deny what you would love. And I just really want you whole of heart to lean in to not only your goals and dreams, but the opportunity provided to you to move forward with me and stay in this energy and take up your place where you belong in our Karen Brook community. So we will drop the link for you in the chat to head on to our website and book your place, take your place in our supportive community. And I can't wait to help you, just like I've helped hundreds of clients right around the world at varying times, also create the results that they really want. It's all here for you, and we just can't wait to open you up to higher and higher levels of results, of awareness, and help you to really live a more enriched, fulfilled, and happy life. So please stay around. We'll put some music on for you to just soak up the energy and take that 5 minutes to transition from this space back into your environment. But don't leave here without having made that decision. Head on over to the website, get yourself enrolled, get yourself set up, soak up the music, soak up the energy, soak up the love. Share your one takeaway from the call in the chat. Go and enroll, come back, let us know in the chat. We'll stay and support you and celebrate you through that. I'm Karen Brook. I'm so grateful that you made the time and effort to be here with me this week, and I can't wait to see what unfolds for you over the next 6 months. So take care and bye for now.